Shadow back again. We need to talk about the fall of boxing. The big so-called mega fight last night. Tyson vs. Paul. I feel like we have all just been bamboozled. I got to call BS on that event. Once again I remember why I and so many others fell out of love with boxing. There is just too much bullshit in boxing these days. Good thing it was on Netflix, because if I had paid for that on pay-per-view I would demand my money back. Boxing is just too rigged. Some of the decisions from those judges are just ludicrous. Those of you who watched the event, did you see what I saw with the two main events? We had the women's match with a rigged decision, and then we saw two friends pretending to fight each other. This event shows what is wrong with boxing. Boxing now is just about the betting lines. The whole thing is just one big fix. I can't even be that mad. Tyson and Paul were good enough actors to convince people that this was going to be a real fight and walk away with an easy payday. Everyone should have known what this was going to be. We all fell for the same old trick. The funny thing is that we will probably fall for it again. We got caught up in nostalgia and old hype. Tyson and Paul were hardly even throwing punches at each other. This was a scripted WWE fight. That is what this felt and looked like. There were so many openings in the match that Mike and Paul didn't capitalize on. You could clearly see they weren't trying to fight each other. We all got played again. The undercard matches were the real boxing. Tyson and Paul were just kabuki theater. It wasn't even good theater. Those two in the betting lines are the only winners. Boxing is no longer real. It just is used to fuel the betting odds now. Look how many times DraftKings was mentioned. Boxing is just a rigged casino. The house will always win. This was just actors doing stunts. This got to be one of the worst boxing matches ever. We had two robberies during this event. Serrano got robbed in the decision, and then everyone who watched the Tyson fight got robbed of their time. This was a true disgrace to boxing. It was sad to see Mike Tyson in this state. All the fans of Tyson must have felt the same heartbreak. To see Mike take part in this farce of a fight is just shameful. Mike even said he is willing to do another fight. Do they expect to hustle the whole world again with the same trick? Mike is going to destroy his legacy if he keeps this up.
What in the hell was that? What happened to boxing? You said it right, Shadow. This event looked like a bad episode of WWE SmackDown. From bad referees, crooked judges, and bad botch moves, this event would fit right in with WWE. If you think about it, it might be bad with WWE being on Netflix now, and WWE's connection to the Paul brothers. They must have written this scripted trash. This fight made me sick. This fight, if you could even call it that, was just sad. A staged performance. Jake Paul's ring entrance made everyone aware that this was about to be some BS. Just looking at him during his entrance, you could tell he wasn't there to fight. But I will get back to that in a second. I need to say something about the Serrano fight. Now that was the real fight of the night. Katie Taylor vs Amanda Serrano shows the best things and worst things about boxing. Too many times in boxing, you will get a great boxing match and the winner is clear, but when you get to the judges, you are reminded just how rigged the sport has become. Talk about a screwed job. How could Katie win if the fight was so close, and Kate got a point taken away? Serrano clearly was winning the fight and really won the fight. This is why I stopped watching boxing. Who would keep watching this rigged crap? I might as well just go play the slots, instead of investing time in this type of garbage. If they think this event was going to help bring people back to boxing, they are so wrong. The only thing this event did was remind everyone that this is no longer the sport they grew up with. I can't believe I got caught up in all this hype for this fight. Everything is just all about the money nowadays. Sports are now determined in the boardroom. The fake slap is heard around the world. You had Jake Paul cutting promos like he's a pro wrestler from the 80s. This whole thing was so funny. By the third round, Mike's legs were completely gone and yet Jake didn't even try to finish Mike off. They planned and rehearsed this whole thing. Mike looks completely out of it. It's hard seeing your hero being shells of himself. All Mike pretty much did was just stand in the ring. Maybe we gave Mike too much credit, but I didn't think you would take a dive like this. After the first round, it was clear what this fight really was. It was sports entertainment. Boxing is just as fake as WWE. And I'm a wrestling fan, but I don't want boxing to turn into it. This just did more damage to the boxing world.
Yeah, boxing used to be a legit sport. Now it's more sports entertainment. I can't get invested in boxing anymore. There are just too many shenanigans now in it. This just broke my heart. We see Mike Tyson return to the ring and what could only be called a mockery of boxing. Now I know he's a 58-year-old man, but still, this is Mike Tyson. He was acting like he never boxed before during the match. Then you had Jake Paul not going in for kill shots when he had a clear opening. All we saw was a few love taps and staring. Hell, they both stopped fighting the last 15 seconds of the final round to shake hands. We all got hustled. You do have to give them credit. This was a master class in effective marketing. They were able to sell a fight that couldn't really ever be a real fight. Say what you will about the Paul brothers, but the one thing that no one can take away from them is they know how to market their brand. We kept seeing clips of Mike Tyson's workouts leading up to the fight. Those clips helped to trick all of us into thinking that the truth of the situation wasn't real. That this 58-year-old man still had some of that old fire in him. We thought we were going to see a competitive fight. We got nothing. Mike Tyson looked every bit of his age. He looked like how you would expect an old man to look. He was nothing like those training clips they were showing leading up to the fight. The wonders of editing these days. This was just a waste of time. It was a cash grab by all involved in the event. Everyone could tell there was something off about Tyson in the fight. Roy Jones keeps pointing it out. The co-announcer kept trying to gaslight everyone saying Tyson always fights like that. Really, you got this announcer trying to educate Roy Jones on the art of boxing. That's what all this was, just one big overly gaslit fake fight. Why did I stay up to watch this? With crap like this keep happening, boxing cannot be taken seriously anymore. Influencers are the new boxers, and boxers are just influencers now. Mike hung up his gloves to become a podcaster, and Jake put on the gloves to be a pretend boxer. What has the world come to?
I still love Mike Tyson, but it's time to hang it up. I'm just glad he didn't get hurt. It was easy for them to build this fight up as being legit. You had Mike Tyson to give it credibility. Mike is so intense at times, he can make anything feel real. But when you saw him walking out during his entrance, you could tell his heart wasn't in it. And once that bell rang, it was clear it wasn't the Iron Mike in the ring. But now the heist is over, we all got robbed of seeing the old legend. This was a clown show. We all should have known better, but that is how powerful nostalgia is. Celebrity boxing is destroying the sport. It is just a spectacle. I feel bad for all the people who bought tickets to this crap. This was more of a bad sparring session than a fight. This fight didn't deliver on anything. You could hear the crowd booing all throughout the fight.
Yeah, I tricked myself too into thinking we might get a small glimpse of Iron Mike Tyson. But what I saw almost made me cry. I never wanted to see Mike like this. After everything Mike Tyson did for the sport of boxing, to see him be brought down to this level in boxing is just sad. Did you ever think you would hear other boxers say that Mike Tyson would be part of one of the worst boxing matches ever, not counting the ear incident? This was just boring. There was no entertainment the whole fight. This was just meaningless. This fight didn't help Jake or Mike. It just made people feel like they were scammed. They took our money and time and didn't give us anything. There is not a single highlight you can take from this fight.
I used to be a huge boxing fan, but this fight was just awful. I'm not going to be tuning into too many boxing events if this is the current state of the sport. I really hope those in charge of the boxing world realize how much damage this joke of a fight did to the image of boxing. We didn't even get one good round. Neither of them was trying to fight. They were in the ring just to protect the bag. Only 18 punches landed out of 97 thrown from Mike. Then you also had all the problems with Netflix servers. This whole thing was just bad. If Netflix is trying to get into live events, they have a lot of work to do. People couldn't watch the stream. They didn't miss much, because nothing happened in the fight. This is one of the reasons people started to watch other combat sports instead of boxing. There are too many politics in boxing. Boxing is not legit. There's always some controversy with their fights. I thought we would at least get a few intense moments in the fight, but no. All the fight had was just a lot of standing around the ring. Put in the comments what are your thoughts on the fight. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. It's back to the shadows. Thanks for watching.